The first time I felt truly alone was not when my wife passed, nor when my children moved away to build their own lives. It was on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. I sat in my living room, the clock ticking loudly against the heavy silence, and realized, no one was coming by today. Or tomorrow. Maybe not even next week. The emptiness didn't roar. It whispered. It pressed into the corners of the room, into the slow drip of the faucet, into the dusty sunlight on the windowsill. I had spent my whole life building, a career, a family, a home. But no one had taught me how to live in this. Alone. At first, I let it sink me. Days folded into each other. Meals were an afterthought. The television was always on, not because I was watching, but because it kept the silence at bay. But one evening, as the light faded and the house grew colder around me, I realized, this loneliness could either bury me, or shape me. I chose to shape it. Here's what I learned. The first truth I faced was stark: no one was coming to rescue me. Financial security became more than just comfort, it became freedom. I sat down with every dusty paper, every old statement, and created a plan. I budgeted not just for food and rent, but for little joys, a new book each month, a coffee out with a neighbor, an occasional trip to the market to buy fresh flowers. I learned that money isn't just about survival. It's about dignity. And dignity, when you're old and alone, is everything. Some mornings, the weight of solitude pinned me to the bed. But I forced myself up. I put on my old sneakers and walked to the park. Not far, just to the bench under the oak tree. The first few steps felt pointless. But slowly, movement became medicine. My blood stirred. My lungs filled. The world, with its children playing and dogs barking and leaves trembling, reminded me, I was still part of it. Motion is life. Even a slow, shuffling walk says, I am still here. The biggest lie loneliness tells you is, no one cares. It's not true. But connection doesn't fall into your lap at this stage of life. You have to reach for it. At the community center, I joined a chess club. I was terrible at first. I forgot the rules. I lost every game. But I kept showing up. One day, an old man named George patted the seat next to him. Come lose to me today, he laughed. That was the beginning. Of laughter. Of friendship. Of life weaving itself back into my days. There were days I sat in my bedroom, clutching a photo of my wife, the ache so fresh it stole my breath. I allowed myself to feel it. Fully. To cry, to rage, to whisper, I miss you, into the night. But I also made a vow, I would not let grief define the rest of my story. Love doesn't end. It changes shape. I carry her in the way I water the garden she loved, in the way I hum our song under my breath, in the way I greet each day with tenderness for what is gone and what still remains. I met Margaret at the Sunday market. She was buying tomatoes. We both reached for the same ripe one and laughed. It was not romance, not in the way youth knows it. It was companionship. It was two battered hearts recognizing each other. We began having lunch together. Walking together. Sitting in comfortable silences together. When she had to move closer to her son, I felt the pang of loss again. But it was different this time. Because I knew, love, in all its forms, is worth the risk. Always. The hardest words to say were, I need help. But when I slipped on the ice one winter morning, pride was a luxury I could no longer afford. I learned to ask. To lean on kind neighbors, on the staff at the community center, on my children when they called. Needing help doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. And being human, vulnerable, open, connected, is still beautiful. It's easy, so easy, to let bitterness seep in. Why did life turn out this way? Why don't they visit more often? Why did she have to leave me so soon? But bitterness is a prison you build with your own hands. I chose to build something else. Gratitude for the years I had. Hope for the days I still have. Gentleness for myself when the days feel long and the nights feel longer. Every morning, I open the curtains. I let the light in. Because there is still beauty here. Because I am still breathing. Because life, even in its quietest hours, is still a gift. If you find yourself alone in your later years, know this: you are not a burden. You are not forgotten. You are a story still unfolding. A sunrise still rising. A song still worth singing. Take care of yourself. Move. Speak. Reach out. Love again. And live, not just exist, live, fiercely and tenderly, all the days you are given.